And we are live. Welcome everyone in DOPS watching either in our Facebook page, YouTube, or our Facebook group. This is our regular Saturday evening chit chat. We usually try to talk on one topic and also try to update you on what's going on in the DOPS and also give an opportunity to anyone who is listening to ask questions about DOPS or any updates. Yeah. So today's live session is going to focus on clinic insurance, and it's something doctors or GPs with their own clinics might be interested to know. And I'm very pleased with me to have with me today is Japhire Gopi from Dr. Shield, and we have Dr. Kewaljit Singh, who is actually the president of the Manipal Association, who's going to share some experience with us. So I will hand over to Japhire Gopi, who will introduce Dr. Kewaljit and tell us something more about clinic insurance. So Japhire, over to
Sure.
you.
Thank you. First of all, big thanks to Ellen and Dobbs, and very big thanks to Dr. Kewaljit, the president of Manipal Alumni Association. Thanks for joining us today. Yep. Um, I would like to take this opportunity to, of course, thank Manipal Alumni Association. They were one of the earliest supporters for us, yeah? Especially the immediate past president, Dr. Roshan, and Dr. Kewaljit. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Um, Today, the topic is actually to share about clinic indemnity insurance. Yeah. Come 1st January, when the law becomes mandated, we expect a lot of cases to be filed. It's going to be quite a common thing. But what we have understood over the last few years in this market, a lot of doctors who are clinic owners may not have realized that clinics get named in the legal suit. Yep. And they may have wrongly understood that their personal indemnity insurance will step in to cover their clinics in the event that clinics get named. So that's the topic that we want to clarify today. I think I will give a bit more technical intro on that. Maybe we can hear Dr. Kewaljit regarding his personal experience first.
Thanks, Gopi. Thanks, Ellen. Nice meeting all here. Okay, I mean, basically, I was willing to come onto the show and just mention some of the experience. I think most of us as doctors, we are now aware of personal indemnity. And when I started my clinic way back in 2010, that's the first thing me and my partner, we took our personal indemnity from one of the older insurance companies. And for about 10 years, yeah, I think about 8 years, we were regularly renewing our personal indemnity, thinking we are covered and happily going about life. And until one day, suddenly you get a letter and you know, okay, there's something happening. So, okay, there was a patient who wasn't too happy and they took a case against us. But the thing is, we call our insurer and they came and they say, okay, we'll get the lawyers or whatever. And the interesting part is when this case came up, they sued my partner, they put me as second defendant, and then there was a shock for us. There was a third defendant, which was our clinic. You know, clinic is, we register as a Sendirian Berhad, right? And so when we thought no issues, the case is there, lawyers are there, our insurance provider is there. But when the insurance provider came, the interesting thing is they will defend both of us, but they're not going to defend our clinic. So it was a big shock to us because we thought we have taken indemnity and we didn't realize that the clinic is actually what we were told. What your clinic is actually a separate entity. As long as it's Sendirian Berhad, it's a separate entity. And so if you want your clinic to be protected, you need to take another insurance. And that's what I asked my insurer, why didn't you advise me for 8 years that I was regularly renewing my insurance? And not even once it was mentioned that as a Sendirian Berhad, I need to take a separate insurance. So what happens next? They said you need to find a lawyer to defend your insurer, right? And defend yourself. So naturally, what we do, we told our lawyers who are supposed to defend us, you know all about the case, right? So can you just also defend us, since I don't have to find a new lawyer and he has to understand the case, and since you're already doing all this work, you know everything, it shouldn't cost us much to use you, right? And that's where the shock came. And so we asked them to give a figure. So one said, oh, maybe we'll start with 30,000 and it probably can end up with 180,000 if the case goes to court. And that will be the fees that that's just the lawyer's fees. If your clinic is found guilty or what, that's a different story. So, I was mad. We were furious. I told my provider, why didn't you even tell me about this? And the last few years, whoever I meet, this is the story I tell them. And so when Dr. Shield told me that they want to do this with DOPS, I said, no problem. The most important thing is I don't want our fellow colleagues or my Manipal alumni colleagues to be caught in the same situation, right? We were quite lucky. I have a close friend, very close friend, who was a lawyer, right? We are like brothers. So he came in and he did it for me. But we don't know how others will get and how much will be charged. But that's just the lawyer's fees. Your clinic can still be charged, and you'll have to fork out the money yourself. So what happened? Okay, I was not happy with my first insurer. I left. I joined the second insurer. I don't know whether I should mention names, but let's not mention names. I joined the second insurer, and I was quite happy with them. Good service, everything for 1 year. I took my personal indemnity, my partner's indemnity, and then I told them this story. Right? I said, hey, I need, nowadays the lawyers are not only going after the doctors. If you are Sendirian Berhad, if I'm a Sendirian Berhad, they're coming after my clinic, my Sendirian Berhad. But it's just something for lawyers will do, add a few more defendants in there, and naturally they can get more money. So I asked them for a quotation. And the quotation I got from my clinic was 5 times my quotation, right? And I was that again. I had no choice. I was bargaining with them. I and emails to the insurer. I said, "This is just paperwork. It's just they're going to add our clinic name onto it just to strengthen add more numbers, make it more difficult for you. They're going to go after doctors, but this is our clinic. Our nurses don't do procedures, don't do anything, so there's nothing much that they can do. But they gave me a 5% discount, right? And it was about like 11,000 after 1-2 month negotiation. And just I had no choice. I was about to purchase my clinic insurance at 5 times my insurance. But that's the time I met Gopi, and he said Dr. Shield is looking to come into Malaysia, and they want to join up with some association. And then I that's when I brought up this thing about. I said, let's see what you can do. And what I suggested to him is, if we doctors take our personal indemnity from you, your lawyers are going to defend us. Can you give us a special deal for our Sendirian Berhads? And fantastic. 1 month later or 6 weeks, he comes back and he provides me a proposal. Instead of paying 11,000, I paid 2,000 something for my clinic. And since then, I've renewed my clinic policy this year again, right? And I'm quite happy and relaxed now, right? So what I liked about Dr. Shield was, instead of just saying, no, we can't do it, he actually went back and discussed with with Chubb and all that, and they listened to us and they came up. And I've been working with them for the last 1 year, and they seem to be quite receptive. And I think they're also working closely with other associations. I don't know, Ellen, how's your feedback? You've done some work with them. Are they as good to you as they are to me?
Dr. Shield? Well, I mean, in the name of transparency, I'm not with Dr. Shield. I'm actually with MPS.
Okay.
I've been MPS for a long time.
Yeah, they're the best. You can afford it. SGMC doctors can.
No, but a lot of my colleagues are struggling now because of the increasing premiums, and some of the high risk specialties, the rates have just gone to extremely expensive. Like neurosurgery is 100 over thousand a year. I mean, this is becoming very unsustainable. So actually, people are thinking of trying to switch. And some of the questions they always ask, what happens, if you switch, then do you still have to maintain a lot of doctors don't know. Do you still have to maintain your current insurance? Actually, they don't know if you switch, like say you switch to Dr. Shield, there is actually they are covered from day one again, retrospective
Retrospective cover, yeah.
cover, yeah.
But the advantage about your MPS, if I'm not mistaken, is you got unlimited coverage.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Unlimited.
but the thing is, do every doctor need unlimited coverage?
Correct. Exactly. And because it's unlimited, for the high risk, it's actually very expensive.
Yes.
But because my personal one, I'm not really high risk, and so I've
Yeah.
sort of stuck on because it
Yeah,
hasn't
I
changed
understand.
much. And maybe when I retire or do part time, it might be a different thing. Yeah, yeah, because they don't have like for part timers, whereas I think Dr. Shield has for part
Yes.
timers. So I don't run my own clinic, but
Mm.
I also didn't think of this. And Gopi, is this something new that the clinics may be also liable now? Previously, I thought only you just go after individual doctors, but surprising to actually go after a clinic, which actually by itself may not have much to do with the you know
Yeah. About
liability as far as I can see. Is just trying to cast the net as wide as possible? I find it very strange.
yeah.
But I suppose now they will just cast the net and try to get as much as possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 20 months
So,
ago, when Dr. Kewaljit mentioned this,
mm,
the first thing we did is we spoke to a lot of lawyers. Yeah. We consulted a couple of good lawyer friends and a couple of other doctors also. And it looks more like a business decision. Yeah, it is a business decision for lawyers naturally to find exposure. I think it's just a business requirement. Yeah. And you're right to cast a net, and as long as there is a legal entity that has been involved, which a clinic is a legal entity, is a separate legal entity. Yep. And there's really nothing wrong in their view to name it, because it is a legal entity that has been involved in that whole chain of events. If you had invoiced via that legal entity, if you had just hired your nurse, in any way, if that was part of the ecosystem, you can expect that to be named. But what was surprising when I did the research, when a couple of my teammates also did the research, is a lot of doctors took it for granted. They thought, so what? My personal insurance will step in, and that's where we found the legal that real exposure, which is a matter of time before it gets exploited. Yeah.
But I got to make a point here, Ellen. This is only for doctors whose clinic is under St. John Berhad. If they are sole proprietor, then they are still considered as one entity. Then they do not need this clinic coverage. It's only if you have opened a Sandian Berhad, then only it's considered a different body. So a lot of our GPs actually are under sole proprietor. And I believe Dr. Shil has the one for sole proprietor. And those people who are under sole proprietor do not need to take this. Am I right, Gopi?
Yes, so this is a very tricky situation, right? A sole proprietor may not differentiate himself from himself, because it's unlimited liability. It's the same, but it is a separate entity. Yeah, a sole proprietor can still be named, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that even sole proprietors are explicitly covered. Yeah, and that is why we came up with the clause to say a sole trader. Yep. The sole trader insurance will also cover the sole proprietorship. And we wanted to make no ambiguity about it. We just want to be very, very clear about it. And that's how we came about introducing the sole trader extension. So, yes, Dr. Kevaljit is right. Any doctor holding on to Dr. Shield policy, his sole proprietorship is explicitly covered. Yeah. But his Sindrian Berhad, and for that matter, even a partnership, will not be covered under the personal indemnity insurance. So they need to insure their partnership or Sindian Berhad in a different policy. And that comes along with their purchase. So any doctor who's a specialist, will be asked the question, would you want to insure your clinic? And you just need to add on. And like what Dr. Kewaljit actually had witnessed, we don't ask for the arm and the leg because we know it is the same lawyer who's probably going to represent the clinic as well. Yeah. So it is just a marginal increase in the premium. It's in fact it's actually a function. It's a formula. Yeah. It's a slight markup. That's how we have priced it.
There's a question from one of the viewers, from Dr. Tana Segaran. So he says, for government sector, does insurance, not quite on this topic, but does insurance coverage on discipline-related matters with employer?
I think he's referring to the regulator's inquiry, right?
I think on Wednesday, we are going to have a CPD session on the disciplinary issues. And let me get to the slide. I think this would be, just to remind Dobbers, on Wednesday, 16 September, 8 p.m., we are going to go with our live CPDs. Live CPDs tend to be on Wednesdays, okay? And we are going to stream to dobbs.my/CPD, but also to the Dobbs Facebook group. And this talk has one MMA CPD point approved, and you can get it instantly by scanning QR code to prove your attendance. Okay, so this will be a talk by Puan Fasliza on an insight into medical disciplinary proceedings in Malaysia, just as a reminder. So make your time for 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock for this interesting session. And I think she will cover, may answer your questions on why even government doctors may want to consider insurance coverage, because the government is not going to cover doctors, their government doctors, if they are called up for a disciplinary proceeding. Okay, so I think that they will require separate insurance cover if they want that peace of mind there. Am I right, Gopi? I think that was mentioned quite a few times already.
Correct. For all government doctors, yeah, carry on, Dr. Kewaljit.
I think there's one more thing about the government doctors. One is about the disciplinary this thing. But I was just talking to another colleague, and he was talking about a case in I don't know, Kuantan or Terengganu or something, where the government was sued. And the government lawyer actually accepted that the government were negligent, and they quickly paid a certain sum to cover the case. But the doctors who were involved were actually not too happy, because they felt they were not guilty, and they wanted to defend themselves. And they had no chance of defending themselves because the government lawyer just wanted to settle the case. And so the perception is these doctors, so-called doctors, were guilty. Right? Because if you don't have your own insurance, the government insurance will protect you, then the government lawyer might not protect your own personal well-being. So you can't fight the case. But if you have insurance, your insurance company probably will provide a lawyer for you to fight the case. I don't know. Is that something?
That was actually mentioned in Dobbs, that particular case, and I think one of the doctors actually who was involved in it was a government doctor. He was just, by the way, he's part of the resuscitation team, actually not the main carer, but because the lawyers will just get everybody,
the net,
even though the net is cast very wide. So you feel as though you are made responsible, even you're so-called guilty, even though actually you're not really. In the eyes of the medical profession, you actually just went in to help resuscitate, and yet you get roped in, and then your name also gets dragged into the thing.
This is off topic about this government thing, but I want to ask Gopi that if that doctor was covered, would your insurer go in and actually fight the case? Is it possible? Or if, like, the government says they want to close the case, but your doctor wants to fight, what happens in this situation?
I think it's a very difficult question. Yep. Basically, because if you are a staff of this government hospital, whether they are allowed to appoint a third party lawyer is a big question that I can't comment. And I doubt it is going to be possible for them to actually engage a third party lawyer to fight on their interests when the government is actually representing you. At least that's what I think. So I think there is not a very clear cut answer for that. Yeah. But if you were to ask me whether a private lawyer can engage you for other purpose like the regulators' inquiry and proceedings, like disciplinary issues, that is not a problem. In fact, there is something which we recommend, and that's why we keep emphasizing that government doctors themselves, all of them, should insure, yeah, because it insures them for regulators' inquiries. Yeah.
Okay, we have some questions pertaining to clinic insurance. So, Dr. Lim Kwan Ju has a question: how are online clinics, especially those owned by third parties, covered?
Online clinics means
I suppose some of these telemedicine services run by certain business entities, they are effectively running an online clinic.
okay. So if they are giving medical advice, if they can be party to it, if they can be party to even facilitating medical advice, of course they need to have their own indemnity insurance. So hopefully they are covered.
Yeah.
Hopefully they are
I
covered.
don't think there has been any precedent yet, but I suppose if we have a future session on telemedicine, maybe the lawyers can share. Yeah, because that'll be
I think,
interesting.
can I just add? I think about this. Yeah, they might be covered, but I think there are a lot of issues because we had a discussion that day about telemedicine and the benefits and the problems and all that. There's a whole lot of other issues. Whether you got consent, is it your patient before and all that. And if you have not followed those things, you might have an insurer, but you're going to lose the case,
Hmm.
right? So that rules and regulations you need to follow first, right?
Yeah. So we've had a earlier live CPD session on teleconsultation best practices. So you can go back to our DOPS bulletin board. You can still get CPD points if you answer the few MCQs I put up. But also, I thought I tried to cover all those best practices, including consent, identification, and you follow up patients only, etc. But anyway, that's sidetracking. There's another question from the Cheong family. So I have a clinic under Sdn Bhd. I have personal indemnity from MPS. Can I only buy insurance for my Sdn Bhd while maintaining the personal indemnity? I think this one is for Gopi.
Yes. Unfortunately, we do not encourage or we don't facilitate standalone clinic insurance. Yeah. We provide clinic indemnity for our clients who are insured with us. So if there's a doctor who's coming with their clinic, we are able to insure them, but not the other way around. I mean, it's not as a standalone, not as a standalone.
Okay. I suppose because it's different lawyers will be dealing with it. Yeah. So it may not the same thing. Is that right? Yeah. It won't be
Yeah,
so
it
easy.
does not. I mean, we can if the costing will go up, and then we would have other companies like how Dr. Kewaljit was saying. Someone else charging 11,000 for what we could have given at 2,000. So we do not want to get to that market space where we end up charging a lot because they have no other choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody got any other questions? But
I'm waiting.
yeah.
Maybe I want to touch on another topic. Yeah.
Okay.
Clinic insurance also, a lot of people have to bear in mind that locums, right? If a locum is working for a clinic and a clinic gets sued, yeah, yes, under vicarious liability, the clinics will be represented if they are insured. Yeah, the owner doctor also is insured. That's fine, but the locums can always be sued by the insurance company that pays for them. That means, let's imagine a clinic is being sued. A clinic insurance steps in and takes care of the cost, but nothing stops the insurance company from suing the locums to recover the losses. Yep. So moving forward, everyone is expected to be insured, and this subrogation, or rather this recovery, is going to happen. Yeah. So it is very, very important for locums to be insured. Uh, Even if you're doing 1 day locum, it's very, very important that they are insured.
Betty Tay says she's with Dr. Shield from next year. Okay. Dr. Shield says thank you, Betty. Fan Raven says gives a smiley. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, that's nice to have people viewing. But feel free to interact with us, ask questions. It may not be on clinic insurance, but if you have anything about DOBS or something, I think it'll be good. The other thing I just want to remind uh, Dobbers is we have a Telegram group, which is quite active, and there are also other multiple groups. In order to join, because some of you may have joined and then accidentally left. Then I keep getting messages. How do I join back? This is how you join back. You need to log in into the bulletin board first. If you're a registered member, you will be given your username and password. Then once you're logged in, you go into the forum here. You click OK. You're in the forum. These are all the regular bulletin boards, including the online CME modules. So we have CME modules there where you can get CPD points. When our live sessions are over, you can still view them, and then when you click on the online module, you can answer questions and you can still get points. So we have the same CPD session, which is live, will be non-live as well. So give opportunity for those who could not view it live, you can still get your points. And this year, you need to collect 20 points from 1st of July this year until 30th of June. So every point counts. So we are trying to help our dobbers as much as possible. Now, but on to Telegram, you just need to scroll down, and then further down, you will see the DOBS Telegram group. So if you click on any of these, you'll be able to join the main chat, our Tech Talk, telemedicine group, and the DOBS on Fire, which is the a discussion on financial independence and retire early. Some of our younger dobbers believe in that. Then if you bit lower, you will see the Dr. Shield one. So if you've got questions on Dr. Shield, do feel free to join our Dr. Shield Telegram group, and you can ask Japhire. Japhire is very active there, and he'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay. So that's our how to join our Telegram groups. And because these groups are viewable only if you logged in, so they are only open to members. Okay, if you're not a member, you can't. When you view the board, you can't see these Telegram group links. All right. So that's the way to join our Telegram groups. Okay. Let's view. Yeah. Let's one more question from Dr. Lim Kuan Ju. How many law firms specialize in medical malpractice in Malaysia? I have no idea. Does anybody, Japhire, you have any idea? I'm sure a lot.
In the years to come. Yeah. Many more coming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think one of the things about compulsory medical indemnity insurance is it's a two-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
It protects the practitioner, but it also makes the practitioner a target in that sense. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
You may be a lesser target if there's no indemnity insurance. or may or may not. I don't know, but I don't think that's anyway. By law, you have to have indemnity insurance now.
Actually, that's an interesting point because I was just talking to Gopi earlier, and then one of the things that the patient took the case, he said that I did not disclose to him that I had medical indemnity. So looks like now once they know everyone has medical indemnity, they'll be happier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the concern because whether the cases are frivolous or whatever, but they might be going up simply because of this,
Yeah.
and that makes the whole practice of medicine rather difficult, more expensive, and things like
Yeah,
that. I think I don't know how this is going to be solved, but this is the law as it stands. So I
yeah.
don't think we have a choice. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and definitely a lot of this frivolous case will come out because from the experience, they know doctors don't like to go to court, don't like to fight. Even you're right, and they know the insurer also. Even for the insurer, they will just settle it. In our case, I remember the guy after all that, he never even went to court. All they wanted was a small sum, about 15, 20,000, and then okay, that's it, settled. The insurer was very happy to settle because going to court, his lawyer's bill will probably cost him 200 to 300,000. So I believe you'll be getting a lot of these small cases just like that. The lawyer just sends you a letter, and then So I think doctors have to get ready, lah. Just let the indemnity people handle it.
There's a comment from a Facebook user. I can't we can't see your name, but if you actually had clicked on allow StreamYard to see your name, then it will show up in our comment stream. Um, Sorry, this is the comment. I like the fact that Dr. Shield allows the doctor to choose their lawyer. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
So yeah, we can safely confirm that Dr. Shield, underwritten by CHUP, is the only scheme that allows a lawyer of your choice. Of course, they must have medical legal background and, of course, subject to approval. Yeah, yeah. This is done because we want the doctors to feel that they have been represented well. Yeah. So that is the main reason why we've done this.
But you have your own panel.
We have our own panel. Yes, our own panel that across the country. Yeah,
But if somebody wants to go with another law firm, they're fine, isn't it?
that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay.
The reason why we are not publishing it is because if they don't have, then of course we will share with them that particular current panel of lawyers at that point of time.
Okay.
Choice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always a very unpleasant experience, I think, if anybody is involved in any of these medical legal cases. And it's always a big stress on the practitioner, and it does affect the work. I think without that peace of mind, it
Yeah.
is. But even with the coverage, it is still affects our work. So I think there needs to be some other solution at the end of it. I think we may have some sessions in the future on um, how how it can be resolved without becoming going to court and so on.
Yeah,
In fact, I think I would like to take this opportunity to share another big value system of Dr. Shield. When we started this scheme, we wanted to make sure that it doesn't always get dragged on into the long, never-ending legal battles. And that's why from day one, we wanted to ensure two things. One, we give the doctors their choice of lawyers. Yeah, we feel that that would actually help the doctors place someone with full faith. Yep, so that it doesn't get into unnecessary long battles. Number two, we are extremely pro mediation. Yep, extremely pro mediation. We hope to settle faster than necessary. Yep, faster, as soon as possible. If they can just move on, we want the doctors to just move on, get to their work as soon as possible, instead of getting traumatized and not knowing when it is ever going to end. It's not going to do good to anyone. So that's how this all mediation friendliness started. This is the main reason we also introduced the lawyer of your choice, because we want to make sure that doctors can go back to work as soon as possible and finish the saga without dragging it forever.
So I think we hope to have a session on medical mediation um, in an upcoming session in our medical legal series, at least once every month, I hope, because since it's such a hot topic, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I think everybody has to be very familiar. We have to understand that there's many other ways to resolve disputes. I think everyone needs that awareness. And yes, you're right. We will keep contributing to that education.
Yeah.
Of course, since while we are waiting for other questions, Dr. Shil has the link to both DOBS registration page as well as Manipal alumni registration page. So if there's any Manipal alumni members who have not registered, please take that link and register yourself with the page. Yeah. I think DOBS has a promo code, so does Manipal have their own promo code for their members.
How big is the Manipal alumni, Kewaljit?
Oh, we have a long history, a lot of doctors, but officially registered. We just had a meeting this afternoon. 1170 live members officially. And
Wow, that's huge. Yeah.
yeah, but no, we were a social association before when we first started, but we have now moved on. We had a lot of young doctors coming in, joining us, and so we're doing more activities. So that's how we got with insurance. Just looking a way to help our members, right? And today's meeting was very good. Like what you are doing also is a great job, right? But we are trying to do things that MMA cannot do, things that try to find a niche market, what we can do, whether it's CSR work or education but we don't want to try to duplicate what others are doing. So a lot of our Manipal members are actually with DOPS, they are with MMA, right? So I mean, I'm looking forward next 1-2 years to working with lots of associations. I think as doctors we have to work together. Right?
Yes.
A lot of us do things. We are repeating things. I think we work together benefits all our members. So I was very happy when Gopi asked me to join the DOPS forum. He was asking me, is there a conflict of interest? I said, we are sharing information for all the doctors. What conflict of interest is there, right? And
Yeah.
I enjoyed this session. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I feel the same way. I mean, we are here for each other. I think learning from each other. Actually, I learned a lot from DOPS all these years. Gossip as well as news and anything, So,
Yeah.
and then, and people are so active posting either in Facebook or Telegram. Even before I come across it in my own news feeds, somebody has already shared it,
Oh,
I mean, I miss things also. Even though I very diligently scour all the news feeds every day as part of my morning reading, I still miss a few things. And then somebody has picked it up and shared. So it actually is very good. And there's nothing better than a community to crowdsource information. If you need something to you need to know something from your fellow doctors, I think the thing of social media or chat groups like Telegram would be very good ways to get that info from your colleagues. Hot topic is problems with APC application. I think next week I'll be dealing with that in the live, thinking what to do. I've discovered something which on APC, by the way. This is the
I
other.
think they should just put you in charge. You'll solve all their problems.
No, I've lost enough hair, I go through APC. See, I think we just try to help our members. I think it's no joke trying to register APC for 55,000 doctors or so on. But no matter how well you plan, there will be some problems cropping up. So next week I just discovered something, how some people may be stumbling in their online APC application. So I'll share it next week.
Maybe before you do that next week, maybe in this week, check with the nurses. They are more members than us. How they manage their APC?
Good question. And CPD and all as well.
Yes, they and I don't hear nurses complaining about difficulty getting their APC.
No, why? I don't know why the doctors are struggling.
I, I actually told our APC people. I said they were telling they are looking for a system. They are reviewing a few. I said why not go to check with the nurses association? How are they doing it? I've not heard a nurse complain about her APC, and I guarantee you there are more than 55,000 nurses.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Not pharmacists as well.
Yeah, right.
Dentists. Yeah, I mean, no, I think I don't know why we are so struggling. Maybe because a lot of it is new. For example, we've not gone online for APC registration and renewal before. Everything has been done on paper. So this year, everyone is forced to go online. So the registration process is rather convoluted. So I think, but once you gone past that hurdle, then the renewal is not so bad. Yeah.
No,
And,
but actually, previously also they had the online. A couple of years ago, I did all my renewals online, and
yes.
then now I think they switch your
Change.
system. There, yeah,
Yes, that's
we
right.
can understand the thing this year. Okay, right.
Since
Okay, but that will be next week. Yeah, we'll try to cover that next week. Yeah. So, but this still we go back on track on clinic insurance.
yeah,
Just recap again. We shared that how if your clinic is Sendirian Berhad, you should really consider getting insurance cover because it's a separate entity. You're not covered, but Dr. Shield has a sole trader extension. So if you are a sole proprietor, the clinic is covered. But if your clinic is a Sendirian Berhad, it is not covered unless you get a separate clinic insurance cover. So that's something GPs or specialists who run their own clinics need to understand.
excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry, to touch on your APC, I had one statement to make. We have a very common inquiry. I thought I should just clarify. A lot of people who buy insurance, maybe they have a policy that is going from October to next year December, and they shouldn't be putting those dates when they are applying for their APC, because that system only wants to know that you are insured from 1st January 2021 to 31st December 2021. So for those who have policies that is 18 months, 17, 16 months, do not confuse the system. You just specifically mention that you are insured from 1st January 2021 to 31st December 2021. That's what the system wants to know. Yeah. Because there's a couple of them who have run into problems. Yeah. So just wanted to clarify that portion.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Speaking of APC renewal, I was one of those, unfortunately, clever ones who, once they got the MPS renewal, quickly applied uh, to APC, and I got a rejection saying, "Doctor, you have to upload medical insurance. You uploaded medical membership certificate." So they didn't understand that, you're a member of MPS, and MPS puts at the bottom there, "We are not an insurance company." So MPS certificate
Yeah,
is member of
yeah,
medical membership to the MPS, which is not an
yeah,
insurance company. So got rejected. So these are the problems that even at the ground in the MMC, the staff also, I
yeah.
think it's new. It's new for everyone. So I can understand that maybe they didn't anticipate this. They didn't understanding. But anyway, it was sorted out. So I think those of us who quickly were applied very early with MPS, we've sort of paved the way. There was less trouble. But that sort of a lot of things can happen. I think a lot of people are complaining, like many documents submission task is difficult, etc. We'll try to cover this next week. I think we don't have
Okay.
of clinical. I found out something why your submission for APC does not appear. I found out the reason why, and it's not just because you did not complete your biography or something. I've got something to share with you next week. So I'll keep you in suspense until next week. Yeah.
can I take 2 minutes to just one
Sure,
minute to
sure.
introduce?
Yeah, yeah. If I,
For those who have not tried the Dr. Shield platform, it's actually the drshield.com. You are able to calculate your premiums instantly, and you are able to choose what's the sum assured that you need according to your classification, and you can buy it on the spot. you will receive your tax invoice, your policy document, and a summary document instantly in your email. If you have any problems or any delay, you could always speak to one of our customer service consultants. And once you get your policy document, tax invoice, and summary document, use the summary document to upload your APC, and that is the certificate that you want to show that you are insured. I think a lot of them understand that there is Dr. Shield, but they see the button, but they are just not pressing it. They are just afraid of just going to the next stage. And we have a lot of queries asking, how do I go about? It's actually quite direct. Just press it. Just press the buy now, and the next page will be just about 5 to 8 questions about yourself, your MMC number, and then it leads you to the next page to make payment, either a credit card or a bank transfer. Okay, and you get your policy on the spot. So it's
Can they
as
pay
easy as
by installment? Can they pay by installment?
if they are having a public bank credit card, they
Hmm.
can pay by installment. And the good thing is the installment cost is absorbed by us. So it's actually 0% interest for 6 months if they are using public bank credit card as of now.
So yeah. Well, what I like about Dr. Shield, everything is online. You
Yeah.
just go and get your quote, just decide what cover you want. Just go according to your risk category, decide how much coverage you want, and the quote is instant at no charge. And I think it's very good. And then if you're happy with it, then you go on and purchase it. And the purchase is online. Everything is instant. I think this is the era of instant gratification. Everybody wants it instantly. Unfortunately, we can't get it with APC renewal, but at least we can get it with Dr. Shield. Yeah. Yeah, the other common complaint after you upload everything, including the medical indemnity, then you have to wait for officer review, and they may take some days or weeks. Yeah, but it's a manual process, so we can understand that as well. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Huh? I think we've covered the main issue. So really like to thank Japhire and Dr. Kewaljit for sharing and this very important thing about clinics being a Sdn Bhd needs a separate cover. Otherwise, you
Partnership,
might be
partnership also.
partnerships. Yeah, partnerships as well. Yeah. Okay, I think we've no other comments. So I think we have taken 45 minutes, which is, we thought we would just be half an hour or so, but 45 minutes. And I think it was a very good discussion. So I'd like to thank Japhire and Dr. Kewaljit again. I just want to remind everyone, those who came in late, um, no, not this one, the talk on the upcoming talk on the 16th of September. So it's a CPD event. So Wednesday, 8 p.m., we will be streaming to dops.my/CPD and the Dops Facebook group. All right. So please put it in your calendar, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And you'll be able to scan with your MMA events app the QR code displayed at the end of the talk. One common question or problem or which always crops up with this QR code scanning is if you're viewing with the same mobile phone which has the MMA app, you can't scan and view with the same device. It's just technically not possible. So, in the emails we will be sending out to all those who registered, and actually very good registration, about over 120 registrants for this talk. So you'll be advised to view it on a large screen device such as an iPad or a PC. And then your phone, which has the MMA app, is used to scan the QR code displayed on your PC or your iPad. You cannot scan and view with the same device. So please let me remind you again. That's how the system works. Because the QR code will expire after a period of time, within 2 hours. Okay, so you have a short window to scan. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to thank the participants again. So I wish all of you watching, thank you for your time, and we hope everyone has a great weekend ahead. So Japhire and Kawajit, good night,
Good night.
and God bless. Yes, bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.